Now I thought I'd bake a cake today. I haven't done a video recipe for a while with cake, so I thought I would do an orange drizzle cake with a sort of chocolate topping. So, you know, really simple to make, good results, and it tastes delicious. So for making up this cake, I'm just going to go through the ingredients I'm going to use. Now for making up the cake mixture, I'm going to use these ingredients here and a little bit of the orange zest. So what we've got is 225 grams of butter, 225 grams of self-raising flour, and 225 grams of castor sugar. So these three ingredients, the same amount. 4 eggs, add those one at a time. Bring it all together and you've got a really simple sort of delicious cake mixture. Now to flavour it up a little bit, you need to add the zest of the oranges. Now I've got my 2 oranges, quite large oranges. Now with the zest, I'm just going to take the orange bit off. So I've got my little tool there, very cheap, really good for doing that. And what you can do is just scrape it and you get all the orange bit off, but leave the white behind. Now I'll probably use about 1.5 oranges for the zest. You could use 2, it's up to you. Now that's the cake mixture. So, you know, you cook it up. Once it comes out, you prick it with a fork on top. And then what we're going to do is pour this orangey, slightly sweet and, you know, syrupy mixture over the top. Now, what I'm going to use for that is 50 grams of castor sugar and the juice of 2 oranges. So put those in a little pan, dissolve the sugar, and then you can pour it over the top of the cake. And then finally, and you don't have to, we're going to add some dark chocolate. So I've got this chocolate here, lovely chocolate, and I'm just going to sort of melt that in the pan and we can pour it over the top of the cake. Once it's cooled down, you've got a really delicious tasting cake. Now to make up the cake mixture, I've got myself a bowl, we've got all the ingredients laid out, keeps your life nice and simple. Now with the butter, try and make sure that's at room temperature, because when you mix it with the sugar into a paste, it's going to be so much easier when it's a little bit softer, and room temperature is good. If yours just come out of the fridge, don't worry, just pop it in the microwave, just 10-15 seconds, slightly soften it, and it will make your life nice and simple. Now with the eggs, I've got the 4 eggs there in individual bowls because we're going to add those one at a time. Now with the orange zest, I zested both of those oranges. So large oranges, plenty of zest, let's get some lovely flavours in there. So what I'm going to do is start off by mixing the slightly soft butter with the castor sugar. So to the butter, I'm just going to add the castor sugar, so put that in. And I'm going to use a wooden spoon. And what you want to do is kind of grab the bowl, and this is where it helps to have your butter a little bit softer, because you want to mix that with the sugar until it's turned into a paste. So I'll carry on until it's become a lovely paste. So I've been mixing it up a couple of minutes, just squashing the butter with the sugar. So we've got a nice paste, and all the sugar's been mixed up with the butter. So that's ready to go. Now what we need to do is to add some eggs. Now again, we carry on with the sort of wooden spoon, and what you want to do is break that up, just mix it around, and it will go a little bit more liquid, but what you need to do is to get each egg sort of mixed up with that buttery sugary paste. It'll get easier at this point. So just mix it up. And once that one's been incorporated, pretty much, you can add another one. Again, break it up. And just do that until you've got all 4 eggs in there. That's it. Got all the 4 eggs in there now. Now at this point, if you want to, you could change to a whisk. I mean, if you've got electric whisk, obviously you can do it with the electric whisk. I'm just going to do it by hand. There you go. I think that's pretty much done. A few lumps in there, but that's all right. Now, next of all, we're going to add the flour. Now, with the flour, I'm going to use a sieve, because what you want to do is get a little bit of air in there if you can. So, put your flour in, and do it from a height. Just tap it away. Lovely. Again, I'm going to go back to the wooden spoon and I'm just going to mix that around. Now I'm also going to put in the orange zest. Of 2 oranges, get some good flavour in there. Don't add any salt. That's it. Mix that around and I reckon we're pretty much done. I might give that a quick mix for about a minute or so and I think we're ready to go. That's it, I've just been mixing that just for a minute or so and I reckon that is pretty good. I mean, obviously try and get those little bits of flour off the top, get it all incorporated. Once you've done that, you've got a lovely mixture. Look at that, beautiful. So now I've got the cake mixture done, just put that aside. Now I've got my cake tin here. Now, with the cake tin, I've got this parchment paper and I've kind of just, you know, sculpted it, sort of made it fit really, because that's where all the cake is going to go, and at the end of it, it just makes it so much easier if you've got this sort of parchment paper, Hebrew paper. Now what I am going to do is get a little bit of butter, and I'm going to start off by just going around the edges there, because I don't want anything to stick. So that'll do. Now then I'm going to put in that parchment paper, and again just finish off any little bit of butter just round the inside of there. Go right up to the edges. Alright, that's job done. Now with the cake mixture, I can now pour that in there. It smells beautiful with this orangey, delicious aromas. Oh, it's lovely. Now I'm just going to scrape all of that out of the bowl and then just slightly flatten it off at the top. Try and get any air out. That's it. We've pretty much flattened out. Now that's ready to go into a preheated oven. Now my oven's just come up to temperature, so it's preheated. Now I've got my cake. Now I've actually put it on a little tin there, and you can always give it a quick shake, get some of the air bubbles out if there's any. Fold this back and leave that cooking away. Now what I would say is, we probably want to cook this for about 45 to 50 minutes. Temperature wise, 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 degrees Fahrenheit, gas mark 4. So leave that cooking. Now I've had the cake cooking for about 35 minutes, looking beautiful, and the aromas in this kitchen, absolutely scrummy. Now what I'm going to do is, for the last 10 minutes, I'm going to go over to the hob, get myself the juice of those 2 oranges and that little bit of castor sugar, and just put it at a low heat, dissolve that sugar in that orange juice, and then when this comes out the oven, the cake, we can prick it with a fork and pour it over the top, and it'll just give it such a wonderful flavour. Now with the orange juice and that sugary mixture, the sugar's all dissolved and the juice is smelling wonderful. Now I reduced down a little bit, so you want to do it on a low heat, I'd say for about 10 minutes. So do it in the last 10 minutes of making your cake. Now I'm just going to leave that just gently bubbling away, and we're going to go and check the cake and make sure that's cooked. Now just to check on the cake, now I've had mine cooking for about 45 minutes. Let's just have a look at this. Now you can always give it a quick test and just stick your knife in. Now if it comes out clean, it's done. If it comes out like that, it's not done. So it's still got a cake mixture. Carry on cooking for another 5, maybe 10 minutes. Now I've been cake cooking for just over 55 minutes. Now we did test it at 45 minutes, see how it was. And when I stuck the knife in there, it came out and there's a little bit of mixture on there, so it wasn't quite done. So just over 55 minutes. Look at that cake, that looks beautiful. The aromas in this kitchen, wonderful. Now let me just try it. So if we stick the knife in, I'm hoping when we pull it out, it comes out clean. That is pretty much clean. So I'm actually going to pull that out. Obviously keep cooking yours until it's nicely done. Stick a knife or a skewer in there And you know, when it comes out clean, pretty much done. Now I'll pull it all out with the baking tray as well. Take it over the table. Now just taking that from out the oven. And look at that. That looks a wonderful cake. You know, if you've got a cake like that, you can't go wrong. Now, just bringing over me orangey mixture, which we had with the sugar. Now, before I pour that on, I'm just going to kind of stab this over the top, because what we want to do is get that mixture to go inside. So, you know, you're not going to see it, because by the time you put that mixture and you've got a little bit of chocolate on there, that is going to be delish. So give it a good stabbing all over. Now with the mixture, oh, look at that. Just want to really pour that. Let it soak in. It doesn't matter if it goes around the side. That's the good thing about having this baking paper, the parchment paper. Pour it on and really, oh, that is just going to soak up and be wonderful. So leave that, let it all soak into the mixture, and what we can do in the meantime is go over to the hob and get on with the chocolate. Now obviously if you don't want chocolate, you can leave that bit out, don't pour it over the top, just serve this up once it's cooled down a little bit. But I'm going to go over the hob and sort of melt the chocolate. Now to melt the chocolate, I've got myself a pan. Now I'm just going to turn the heat down because it's just warming up. You need to do this on a fairly low heat, so turn the heat down. Now what I'm going to do is, I've got a little bit of butter left, so I'm just going to put a little bit in there, and I've got some chocolate. Now obviously you can use as much or as little chocolate as you want. Right. Now give that a bash, break it down a little bit. That's it. And I'm going to put the chocolate in there. Now obviously if you want to use all of it, you can probably put a nice coating of the chocolate over the top of the cake. You could use less and just drizzle it. It's up to you. So let's put that in there. That's it, I think we're done. On a low heat, just let that melt really. Now with that chocolate, I've had that on there for, you know, 6-7 minutes or so, and that chocolate has melted and that looks absolutely beautiful. Now incidentally, when you're sort of gently simmering away your chocolate, I've got some water at the bottom there, but not very much, because what you want to do is create a bit of steam in there, and that sort of heats the bowl up and melts the chocolate. Don't have so much water that it's bubbling around the side or it's touching the bowl. So small amount of water, little bit of steam, and it melts your chocolate beautifully. Now I'm going to turn it off the heat, go over the cake, and we can drizzle it or pour it over the top, your choice. That's it. Put some bits of chocolate on there. Or obviously if you want to, you can really make it chocolatey, and we just sort of like spoon it on, build it up. You can always do it the other way as well. Ah, beautiful chocolate. I think I'm going to leave mine like that. I've got a little bit of chocolate left, so you know, obviously, you know, put as much as you want on. Now I'm going to leave that for the chocolate to sort of, you know, become a little bit more solid, and then what we can do is pop it out and we can pop it on the sort of, you know, I've got a little wire rack, so we'll leave that to cool down. Once it's completely cooled down, then obviously you can try some. Now with the cake, I've left that for a good hour or so. I can't wait for it to cool down. I'm just going to try a little bit of that. Look at this. Let's just put it in for you. Get that beautiful cake. That looks absolutely scrummy. Now, just going to chop a piece off there. Nice big piece. Open it up. Look at that beautiful cake. Look, nicely done inside. You've got all that orangey and sort of sugary mixture, and then to top it up, we got the chocolate. Let's serve some of that up and enjoy. Oh, look at that. It's wobbly, it's soft. Now, I'm going to try some of that. Look at that. The chocolate is soft. It's moist, it's beautiful. Let's just try some of this and see how it is. Oh, it's orangey, the chocolate. This really reminds me of Jaffa cakes. That is so nice and moist. It's wonderful and it's so easy to make. So if you want a really lovely cake, go and make it. Absolutely wonderful. Thanks for watching my videos. I'll see you on the next one. The Original Naked Chef. So good.